In honor of daylight saving time, you get to listen to us an hour sooner, baby. I'm Aaron. I'm the one who just realized I celebrated International Women's Day by buying a Wonder Woman bondage cover. How appropriate.
Wow. I'm Josh. I'm the other guy on the podcast.
That's it?
That's it, man. I got nothing today.
All right, so welcome to episode 32 of Dysfunctional Nerdcast. And the big things we're going to do today, discuss the latest Monster Mania convention, and of course, Captain Marvel.
Big weekend for you, at least, right?
Oh, I've been all over the fucking world, I feel like.
Yeah, you really have.
I paid
Adventurous weekend for you, right?
I paid a lot of money to be annoyed this weekend. So my anger, it's going to flow through.
Good, let the hatred flow.
That's right, people.
I love when you get aggravated. I love that you pay to be in a public place and you hate people.
And it was brutal. Both experiences, brutal.
I'm almost sorry for you. Not really.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Brings me much joy when you suffer.
But before we get into that, there's one little trailer we wanted to discuss. The ultimate women's power movement movie.
It is.
I Spit on Your Grave. Deja vu!
I feel like we've been here before.
So they're coming out with a remake to, well, not a remake, a sequel to the original I Spit on Your Grave.
Direct sequel, right?
Yeah,
That's
40 years later.
40 years later.
What did you think of it?
Dude, it looks fucking terrible.
It's pretty bad.
I love the original. I love the first movie. Like, very disturbing movie. It really is. This makes that like a joke. Like, the trailer's atrocious, dude.
I don't know if it makes it a joke. It's just so low budget. I mean, it's very poorly shot. I'm sure it's not directed well. The script doesn't really seem to make a lot of sense. Just even the way she's captured in a van, they come up to her and, oh, is this your book? And then they like beat her over the head or whatever.
Yeah, so
stupid.
What I mean by like a joke is like the first one was a good story. It was a great woman's revenge movie after being assaulted and everything in the middle of the woods. She takes her revenge. I think if you've seen the movie and you're a horror fan, I mean, you know the story. The thing that makes it a joke is because it's so cheap. You know, it's a cheap movie and it's a cash grab. I don't know how they're going to make any money on it, but so we just found out that the woman who played the original character, the actress Camille Keaton, is back in this one. And she's with her daughter, and they get kidnapped. And I'm sure revenge of some sort will happen.
Yeah, so the killers or whatever, they're out for revenge of how she killed her husband.
Yeah. So the main character, you know, exacts revenge on the people that assaulted her. Well, what if that guy's wife is like, well, I'm going to have revenge on you too. And then, so she tries to get revenge on them, and then it looks like the daughter is going to do all the killing in this one. So a vicious cycle of revenge.
Yeah, who knew like a widowed wife would be so angry that the guy's rapist killed him? You know, he's like, oh, it's cool, rape whoever you want, no problem.
Yeah,
just make sure you come home to me. Stand up guy.
I don't get it.
This movie's a push. I'm like, it came up 40 years to come up with it.
And you could have come up with something better. Too, like, why don't you even have to have a fucking sequel?
I don't know.
That's the bottom line. I like the remake. The remake was
awesome. I like all three of the remake trilogy, whatever you want to call it. I thought they were all pretty enjoyable. There's some graphic deaths in it.
Yes, very. So. And I like that kind of horror. I like that taking it to the next step, which is why I like the original I Spit on Your Grave. Was it called Day of the Woman too? Was the other title for it? So, get this, dude. I don't know, this is bad.
It's going straight to video, April 23rd. I'll check it out. I will watch it.
I'll watch it, but I don't know if it's gonna hold my attention, man. Like the trailer had all I could do to keep my attention. Like the daughter's got blood on her face. It's perfectly painted on. You know, it's sticking through scene after scene. It's the same exact blood lines on her face. I'm like. Just bad looking blood and the acting. Oh my God. It's bad.
Yeah, the blood thing doesn't bother me, but the acting is pretty bad. Like
it all bothers
me.
They
didn't have budget at all, so that whatever they could get in the first shot, they take it.
And shot on someone's handheld camera.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. There's no professionalism.
I think it was shot
whatsoever.
on their iPhone, actually. So.
I believe it. It's probably mixed down on some app on their iPhone too.
Enough of that. That's all the news we really had. And, you know, we're coming shortly after our little bonus mini episode there, so
The quickie.
not too much.
Yeah, we're sorry we even had to say that this movie is coming out, actually.
But Monster Mania
Yeah, you had quite an adventure yesterday.
was as good as the trailer for Deja Vu.
Really? Dude, I don't even know why you go to these things except for your collector
I'm a masochist.
need. Yeah, because this is like the third time in a row that you've, right? Yeah, it's third time that you've had issues of some sort.
This is what a true fan suffers through in order to meet his ultimate goal, you know?
You know what? More power to you, because I'd be like, fuck you. Fuck this shit, dude. It's not worth it. And you didn't start off right either.
Yeah, no.
So, I mean, when I feel bad for you, the poor dude hurt himself yesterday.
I'm getting old, people.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It really sucks.
I get to work and you're gimping. And I'm like, what did you do? And we work in a cubicle, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm like, all right. And, you know, I put my shit away and, you know, I'm a concerned friend here. And turns out you busted your knee in some way, shape, or form. What happened?
I think I clicked the mouse like extra too hard or something. That
Really? And that
affected
was-
my knee. So
Really?
I'm literally just sitting there and I go to straighten my knee, just to, like move. I'm like, oh, fuck. Like that really hurts. Like it's like locking, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, let me give it 5 minutes because I probably just like had it bent weird or whatever. It's like half falling asleep, you know, just, you know, work out the kinks.
Sure. Like you said, you're getting old.
5 minutes later, I'm like, all right, I'm going to move it. And I'm carefully moving it this time because I know it's like in my head. And even worse pain. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I can't straighten my leg. I can't move it. I can't do anything. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to wait like 5 more minutes. I'm like, I really got to just like test this knee out. I got to stand up. When I stood up, I mean, I had the most sharpening. It felt like that hot knife cutting through you in my fucking knee. And it just was like the kneecap bending on either like cartilage, a ligament, or like muscle in there. I felt it like crunch. And then the second that happened, it was the sharpest pain. It took my breath away. And then right after, my whole kneecap just went cold. Like it felt ice cold. I've never had a feeling like that in any part of my body ever. I don't know what it was, but I could not walk.
I'm sure you felt that somewhere else.
No, not the ice cold. No.
No, I'm sure. That sucks, man.
I'm like, did I tear like an ACL just fucking standing up? Like, what happened here?
Dude, you work out, and here you are sitting at a desk and
doing
fuck
nothing.
up your knee. That's like getting fired on your day off.
I don't know.
Well,
So, I mean, I'm
Doesn't set
gimping
a good-
around all day. I had to go into the bathroom at work just to like try to see my knee. Is it swelling? Is it look different than the other one? So, like, the whole convention, I'm walking around gimping. I can't really sit. I can't really bend it. Now, today, I'm like 90% fine. It's still sore. It's like a little
Yeah.
swollen in the back.
yeah, you're walking a lot better. And
Yeah. I mean, it's like uncomfortable and it feels really weak, but I can walk without agonizing pain. Yesterday, I couldn't.
I did offer you the cane that I used at the Keystone Comic Con, but
Yeah. I think this is your fault.
How-
It happened.
This is not my fucking fault. It's 100% your fault.
It happened the second you walked in the door.
No, I know it. did
Bringing your
not.
bad mojo in.
No, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
You already happened.
Mojo rising.
Is this going to be like a podcast regular thing that you try to sing something?
I have to bring it in. It's been fan requested.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, that was my start to Monster Mania. So I was already in a miserable mood when I went.
And I felt bad for
My
you.
whole life's a miserable mood, though. So what's the difference?
But it doesn't set the right tone for
right
your
at all.
fucking adventure, right? You just want to get in and drive the hour and a half down there or whatever and, you know, get your autographs. So what happened when you were there?
Well, let me start off with saying when he started posting, you know, stuff on Monster Mania, I really thought it was going to be a better experience because they were really limiting the wristband supposedly. They were all worried about people, switching the wristbands and giving them away to people, getting extra people into the show. It was the first time ever they got an extra parking lot, and they actually had shuttle buses going back and forth every 15 minutes from the extra lot to the hotel. Never done that before. Oh. And it was the first time ever where they actually announced prior to the show where the celebrities were going to be. So you actually knew where to line up, or at least that's what we thought. So,
wasn't the case?
Not really. You get there. I mean, it starts at 5 o'clock on Friday. We got there right at 2 o'clock. So I'm like, all right, I know where the stars are that I wanted. I wanted Dolph Lundgren first. Like, all right, he's in this room. I start the line in front of that room. So we're waiting, hours and hours, and it gets to be about 4:30. Actually, no, it was like 4:45. And this is the first sign of where anybody who actually works there is like, what is this line for? Now, this line has been forming for 2.5 hours. It's now hundreds of people long, and they don't even know what the line's for. This is the first they've seen of it, which is like one of 10 lines going on in this place. We don't know what this is for. I'm like, it's to get into this room. We're lined up in front of the door to get in here.
And they had no clue?
No clue.
And what did they say?
So,
well, you're in the wrong area.
Well, he goes, well, this is a Dolph Lundgren line. There's other people in there, not for Dolph Lundgren. I go, no, I know. There's 10 people in that room. This is to get into the room. And then once you get in, you go wherever you got to go. And he's like, well, I got to do a Dolph Lundgren line, and then there's going to be a Halloween line. So Halloween line over here, and he forms it to the right. Well, the line was so long, it U'd around. So the back of the line was also at the front. Well, all the people at the back of the line just basically turned around and were now the front of the line. So how's that fair to anybody else, right?
I'd be pissed.
So the doorway to get in once the show opens, it only fits one person. But they wanted to form 2 lines. So now it's fucking bottlenecked, and everybody's pushing to try to get in the doors first. People are angry that the people cut them off because they were at the end of the line.
Absolutely.
You don't know what line you're even in for because he only told the people that he was standing right next to, which was the front and the back. So anyone in the middle is like, why is there 2 lines all of a sudden? I don't even know which one to go into. And people are just pushing at the door. So now the guy behind me is severely pissed everyone's cutting in front of him. He starts arguing with the workers. The worker goes to grab him, which almost results in a fight. He's like, don't you fucking touch me, that type of stuff.
Oh, my God.
He's pushing the workers. So all this because they don't know how to work a fucking line.
Now, what number Monster Mania is this?
40-something, 40, 42, 47, 40s.
I have zero desire to go to this shit show. Because that's all you've described to me is that it's a shit show. How can you not, after 45 of these fucking things, know what the hell you're doing?
And how can the fans have it figured out? We know how to line up. Everyone's agreeing. As you walk in the room, you're waiting to get in the room, but once you get in, you go to whichever one you get.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And you're still going to be in order because the first one in the room is going to be the first to get where he wants to go.
Yeah.
So you're still in order. But no, let's at the last 15 minutes say where there's 2 lines where he doesn't even know these lines exist. All right, so now we're in the room finally after everybody's angry and the guy's hollering, "Don't be angry at us, it's hectic on day 1, blah blah blah." I'm like, it's not day 1, it's day 400 because it's the 45th convention.
Exactly.
So we're inside. The lines are all fucked up because they didn't tape anything on the floor like they normally do.
So something that did work, they stopped doing.
Yeah, so you have 3 hours that these workers are there just standing at the door. I don't know what they're doing. Why would you not tape the lines down prior to the show when you have all this time? You wait till everybody's in the room. Now you're saying, oh, can you move this way? Can you move that way? You're in my way. I'm trying to put tape down. I need to make room. There's nowhere to go. It's fucking jam-packed. When you move, other people are butting in front of you.
Yeah.
You can't move because you're bumping into somebody. Maybe you should have had the tape down before you started. Not that hard a concept.
No. And again, the fans know how to behave, how to line up and everything, because you guys are seasoned vets at these things.
It's not even that. It's just have common sense.
Well, yeah. Well, dude, nobody has common sense anymore. Anywhere. Obviously.
So the guy is literally yelling at me, "You stand right here, stand right here." I stand right there. And he goes, "You need to move over 1 person." I'm like, you just told me 3 times to stand right here. I'm doing what I'm doing. And you made me literally move 1 step to the right. I'm not sure what that even accomplished, but I got yelled at for it. It's like, they're like mall cops. It's like the first time they've ever had any privilege in their life to be I don't know, authoritarian.
Sure.
And they take
so they got to take it to the extreme and
It's like, give me a break. So
overcompensate for small penises.
because the showrunner doesn't know how to even, I don't know, manage anything with common sense, like he could have resulted in a major lawsuit with that guy getting pushed. If he would have punched back and something would have erupted, you're now getting sued
Oh yeah.
because you don't have common sense of how to work a line.
Well, and so how does like an agent? Why would they want their, client to go back to these shows? Why do the celebrities want to come back? I mean, obviously to make some money, but maybe they don't know what's going on. But eventually, are you fans going to get pissed off enough that I might skip this one?
Well, here's the other thing. So you're
And that
going
shit
to,
happens,
yeah, you're going saying that, and there were so many people in the hallway trying to get into the show. I mean, you probably had to wait about 2 hours just to get into the show because their stupid wristband thing, it now has these scannable metal things in the band to try to prevent people from faking them, which is cool. But make sure the scanners work. None of the scanners work. None of them. So they're trying to scan each person for 30 seconds or more. Finally, they're just like, all right, you can go through because they're not working. But then they try the next person for another 30 seconds. And then you could tell like the person getting scans annoyed. And they're like, all right, just go ahead. But in the meantime, the line's just backing up.
Sure.
All these people already have tickets to get in, and you can't even get in. So guess where? Those people are just waiting in the lobby. They're not getting autographs. They're not buying merchandise. I'm sure vendors were pissed. The vendor room was dead empty because everyone's in the lobby just trying to get in.
Well, yeah.
So great concept, but make sure your technical shit works.
Unbelievable. I have zero. I'm not going ever. You always try to say, dude, you got to go. You got to go. I ain't going, man. Never.
And then, so my buddy, he wanted Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
He goes upstairs where she's at. For whatever reason, she could not be with any other celebrities. She's very high maintenance, I guess.
All right.
So there's only like 20 people that even want her.
Christina who?
Christina Ricci.
Oh, yeah. I know. It does.
Adam's Family.
Saying like,
No.
who the fuck is she?
Guy.
She needs that special treatment.
Sorry, I didn't get your wink there. So my buddy goes up and he's waiting and there's 20 people. And then all of a sudden they come up and they're like, you got to go outside. For one, it's fucking March in New Jersey. It was like 20 degrees yesterday.
That was chilly, man.
You're going to make people wait outside at 5 o'clock at night. Fucking stupid. When there's only 20 people up in that room that holds hundreds, but for whatever reason can't be in there. So now you have a group of people upstairs that already started a line. There's a group of people outside that were told they had to start outside. So now they're both fighting for who's first in line because two different lines going on.
Yeah.
So then they say, do you know what? We're not going to have a line. And people are like, we're not going to have a line. What does that even mean? Where are we supposed to start to wait for her? And they're like, we're not forming lines. There are no lines. Okay, so when she starts signing, where do I go? How do I get an autograph? You got to wait somewhere. Oh, no, there's no lines.
How does that work?
I never heard of such a stupid explanation.
So did everybody just like go up to her table in a mass crowd, or was it like how do they? What?
Basically, all these people. There was, like I said, like 20 some people. They all started just bitching. And they're like, "We need to form a line now. This is ridiculous." They got in a big argument with the workers.
Yeah.
Eventually, the workers gave in and just formed a line. And like, we already had this. Why did you even try to break it up? It makes no sense.
Wow.
They were in and out of her line. Once she started signing, 10 minutes. All that hubbub for nothing. What? Just to try to make people angry? I don't even know.
And it's just, this makes zero sense whatsoever to be that disorganized for something like this that you've done countless times.
And it's amazing that it gets more and more disorganized as it goes. Wouldn't it get better and better? You would think this was the first show they have ever done.
And you would think after someone got stabbed 2 times ago that you would fucking work something out. This is why you're doing things. You just took like 20 steps backwards.
And I can only imagine. So that was the line just to get in once you had your badge.
So that's just
the line to actually buy the badge had to be hours long. So the people, I don't even know why they were waiting, because by the time they got in, which was going to be 2 hours to get your badge, you probably had to wait another half an hour to get into the convention once you had the badge. And now you're going to be in line for autographs for hours. It's only a 5-hour long show on Friday. I don't know who you're going to get. Nobody.
Enough time in the night.
Nobody. So why? I don't even know why they didn't cap the line. You oversold it again, even though you said you wouldn't. You oversold it. Well, maybe not, because the vendor room was freaking empty because we're all in the lobby.
Yeah, but it's empty because nobody could get the fuck in.
Yeah, so it's like, work on your technology, work on taking your money and getting these bracelets faster. I don't understand. It was never an issue for years and years. You just walk up, get your badge, walk right in. Why is it so hard now?
Is it more popular? I mean, obviously.
It's the same amount of people going, honestly.
Really? So the show itself is not getting more popular.
I don't think so. It's just getting more clusterfucked. They try to control it more and more, and it's just creating more and more problems.
Did you hear anything today if it went any smoother?
I did not. I did not hear. I can only imagine how bad and crowded it is on Saturdays, though.
It's just a cluster, dude.
So, I mean, the other issue that people are really complaining about, and it's, out of the showrunner's hand, is Fairuza Balk, if that's how you say her name, from American History X and The Craft.
Yeah.
She didn't show up Friday. So apparently she doesn't fly anywhere. She only drives. So she's been driving, supposedly, this Winnebago cross country from California for 5 days. And she got stuck in some kind of snowstorm in Pittsburgh. And she was late. So everyone who had photo ops couldn't get her. The show was saying, oh, she'll be here in 2 hours. That was at 5 o'clock. So she'll be there at 7. Then it was, oh, she'll be here at 9.
They always say that.
They had no idea where she was. And then they're posting on Facebook, and people are like disgusted with her because she does this all the time. She always cancels. And then her manager's on there like defending her. Oh, she put her life in danger coming here for you people. Like, how disrespectful are you? It's like, how disrespectful are you? People spent money for photo ops, autographs, and you don't even show up on time. If you're only there, people are like, I took a vacation day. I traveled 5 hours to get here myself, and you're not here. Like, maybe you should plan a little better. Try to get there Thursday.
Yeah, it's all in the plan.
Friday morning.
Well, shit. There's celebrities that fly in an hour before they're supposed to be at the damn place. You got to get your bags and all that other stuff. Get out of the airport, and an hour to an hour and a half, your flight lands. Fly in earlier or the night before. Right? Hotels are $120 a night. All right, live with it.
That they won't even pay for anyway.
But still, it's not like it's a huge expense. You're making how much money, and these are the people who have supported you and given you your career. That's the bottom line, and that's what pisses me off about a lot of this shit.
They could care less about people's time, people's money. They're just there. Hey.
Well, they like people's money when they give it to them.
That is true.
That's all they care about. That's why I'm not into this crap, man.
Then, I say it's not the showrunner's fault, but at the same time, when that person has a reputation of doing this,
I wouldn't even book that person.
Exactly.
You don't do that.
Don't even book them because it's just going to bring you problems. And you had everybody pissed off last night and on your Facebook about how bad it was, and it's your fault.
Yeah, it all reflects on you.
Exactly. So, hate to say it, Dave, but your show's been getting worse and worse. I hope you listen to it. He says he searched his podcast for honest reviews. I'm giving you an honest review from someone who's been there since Monster Mania 1. It's downhill. It looks like you don't know what you're doing. Invest in some turnstiles or something to rope people off. Limit your tickets. And just know how to form a line.
Basics.
I think I said this on one of the other ones. Maybe pay like a head security person to be like, all right, there's like 3 separate sections of the convention. Maybe just have one paid person that oversees all the other volunteers in their section and say, I need you here, you here. I'm the decision maker. I'm going to make this thing run. You need to just listen to me. You can't have a volunteer that's strictly there for a t-shirt and that's a 20-year-old kid and doesn't even give a fuck trying to tell people where to line up, what to do. They're clueless. They've never even been to the show, it seems.
I probably haven't.
So it was very frustrating.
Sounds it, man.
I didn't get half the stuff I really would have got because when you got out of the room, it was so crowded, you just kind of wanted to get your poster, get out so your poster didn't get manhandled and crushed.
Yeah.
Well, if you wanted to go back in the room to either meet somebody else or get an additional autograph, you couldn't get back in. So I wanted another James Drew Courtney autograph. I would have got they had a Bill Sinkovich print. I liked the DVD cover of it. They had 11 by 17 there.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't even get to meet him because the lines were such a cluster and there's so many people. When they split into 2 lines, I was with my wife. I said, I'm going with the Dolph line. You go with James Drew Courtney line because these lines are going to be hours. I'm not going to get both. So we ended up in basically the front of each of those. But she got James Drew Courtney and I got Dolph. We didn't get to meet them together, which
sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
It does.
So I was like, well, you got that. Let me try to get James Jude. I'd like to meet him, get my picture with him. I couldn't get back in the room to do so. So guess what? James Jude, you lost $50. Sucks for him.
Yeah.
Not his fault.
And if you didn't get back in the line, there were other people that didn't get back in the line.
A lot of people, because my buddy, he also left. He was waiting for Fairuza because they said she's coming. He's waiting in her line. She doesn't finally announce she doesn't show. By the time he wanted to get James Jude, the line was too long. He couldn't get in the room.
It's too late.
So again, it cost him. Now he's $100. How many times did that happen to numerous other people?
Oh, yeah. But why do people keep going back? Why do you keep going back?
Because I'm a sucker. I want the autograph. Like, to me, Rocky IV, it's a top 3 movie for me. It's my, desert island movie. I wanted to meet Dolph Lundgren. He was nice as you could be.
Yeah.
You had to keep the line moving. It was a lot of people, but personable. He put quotes on my stuff. He put, "I must break you" on my Rocky poster. Nice. I got He-Man signed for my buddy. He put, "I have the power." He was a nice guy, and that experience, I don't think it was worth it. But hey, I want the thing hanging on my wall for the next however many years. I guess I suffer through.
I guess you do. More power to you, because I could not fucking deal with that.
But I didn't get to meet.
Who'd you miss out on? Well, who did you get, and who did you miss out on?
I didn't get to see Judith Myers either. My wife ended up going in her line because I was still waiting for Dolph Lundgren after she got James Hugh Courtney. So she got to meet her and she signed my poster. But again, I didn't have time to wait in all those lines. So couldn't do it.
That sucks, man.
Couldn't do it.
So total, what'd you get? 3?
3 autographs.
3. What would you normally get on a good day at any convention?
You could easily get 8. Easy. I mean, there's been years I've went and got 10, 12.
Right.
But if you're like one of those people that you're just going by yourself, you're screwed. You don't have people to try to like help you out, hold spots in line. You're done.
Well, plus, part of it too is like you want to go. You want to see the person sign your poster. You want to at least say hello. You want to have a little bit of an experience with them, even if it's 10 seconds, whatever, and you just shuffled through, and now you don't have an opportunity to go to meet someone else. You put the driving time in, the ticket time, you're paying for the autograph, and you don't have that. And you call me a sucker for going to fucking Disney, and look what you do.
Disney's gonna be 10 times worse than this, and look how bad this was.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just. It used to be a lot of fun. It was like you went, you hung out, you were kind of with the celebrities. It was just a fun time. It is not fun at all. It's very stressful. It's annoying. Everybody's in a bad mood because it's too crowded. Move to a bigger venue already. You say you want people to have a good time and have the home atmosphere.
Yeah.
Nobody's having it, dude.
You're not having a good time.
Who are you fooling?
You're not going to get the people back. Eventually, your horror fan community is gonna, be like, no, fuck this, we're done. It's gonna happen. I would think at least a certain percentage it's gonna happen. You have to see a downtick eventually.
I mean, I'm already more thankful to go to Chiller, and this show used to be a lot better than Chiller, but just lately, Chiller's been growing, and somehow they still can manage lines.
Right.
I don't have an issue there.
I don't know, man. Sorry. You always told me like what a cool time it was. You always tried to get me to go. And last, I think like 2 years, I haven't griped about it this bad, but it just seems like it's getting more hectic even over the last couple of years.
And it just sucks. Like if you do want to talk to celebrities, you can't. Like we can't go and do our interview thing. Even the scrubs, they're just like, there's no room. And they're on like high tension alert because everybody's on high tension. And it just transfers to everybody. You know what I mean? It's like
once you get that vibe going, the whole thing's screwed.
And then, apparently with the Fairuza Balk thing, like she's a bitch to her other co-cast members of like the craft and stuff. Like she's ditched them at panels before. So it's like, imagine you're supposed to do a panel with her and she doesn't even show up to answer questions and you're trying to answer on her behalf. Like how annoying.
I don't know. I'd just be like, well, if she wanted to say something, she'd be here. I'm not talking for her.
Yeah, I mean, Christina Ricci, I can't be with anybody. Like, come on. Don't even book these guests.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. Like, why would you? These are problem clients. You know, these are like the ones that want to charge too much for what they're worth, and they have to get talked down. I think Sean mentioned that. You know, like you are worth this much. You know, if you want to charge, go ahead, but don't be surprised when people are not in your fucking line because you think you're worth $80 on something, and someone who's more well known is doing 60. You know,
and it's like Dolph Lundgren was, you know, I think the biggest star there. He's not huge now, but hey, he was just in Creed 2. He was just in Aquaman. He's been in big movies.
Sure, he's a well-known name.
No problems. Showed up, you know, on time. Did his thing. Nice to people. That's the type of guy you want to get.
Yeah. And you put pictures up on Facebook page, so check it out there. And I thought Dolph looked pretty good for.
He did look good. I think I just watched Creed 2 the night before just to kind of get ready for it, and I think they intentionally made him look a little rough in that movie because he is supposed to be like broken and, you know, an outcast of his country. He looked good in person. I gotta say, his daughter.
Really.
Now she's like very pretty. I guess she's not like smoking hot because she doesn't have that whoreness to her.
So whoreness makes chicks hot?
Yeah, you know it does. You know what? She looked like a supermodel.
Okay.
And you know how like supermodels are hot, but they're not like, I don't know, they're not that super hot like
because
girl
they're
next door
unattainable.
Look. Yeah, maybe. They're just like too perfect to be like super hot.
Yeah,
but you could tell she was
and they don't poop either.
Super tall, blonde.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with her, like very gorgeous. So that was a highlight to see her, I guess.
And like nobody would ever ask or flirt with her, ask her for a number, flirt with her whatsoever. Dolph Lundgren sitting right there,
ass.
the dude's fucking jacked. Like the picture, you see him like leaning over your poster. You can see his arms through the shirt he was wearing. I noticed that. I was like, damn, that dude is jacked.
And I gotta say, look at the photo of Sandy Johnson. I don't want to be mean to her. She was nice from what I heard.
Cool.
It would have been nice if I got to know, but
yeah.
June 1974 Playboy. Look it up.
Really?
Oh my God, was she smoking hot? This is the type of chick that you're talking. Wow. Right?
That's when women were women too.
Yeah, she had the big bush in that. But
despite not really what I meant, but all right. We'll roll with that.
Despite that. Like, look up those images. It's unbelievable. And then you see her now. You know, obviously, it's 40-some years, but she's like just regular old grandma. So it's like, man, you were that hot. And now you're just like frumpy old grandma. Like, what's going to happen to the rest of us normal people?
You're fucking doomed.
Yeah, it's like
because you know why? Because you work out, which is why you probably busted your knee, right? Because you're old, you're getting older, and I don't care. There's gonna come a point in your life where you're not gonna be able to work out, and you're gonna get the Ric Flair bod.
Yeah,
you're doomed, dude.
If I was Sandy Johnson, I would walk around with poster-sized pictures of that centerfold and just carry them around, just walk around like a billboard all day and be like, "Yep, that was me." I mean. People would be like, really? Fuck, man. Like every room in my house would have
8x10s of that for her to sign.
She did, but they were like headshots. Not, you know,
that defeats the purpose.
But even her headshot, you're like, wow, gorgeous. Not so much anymore.
We're all gonna get there, man.
But yeah, I'd have posters every room in my house. Be like, yep, that's me. I was damn good looking, you know. Hey, at least you had it at some point in time.
And now
I never had it, so what are you gonna do?
Your grandkids will be like, "Well, how come you have man boobs? Your boobs are, you know, droopier than grandma's."
And Shawn Michaels was there. He was
really. I didn't know that.
He was the biggest draw, man.
Really? Yeah.
His line. He was only there Friday. His line was hours and hours long.
I love Shawn Michaels.
I was like, I'm not waiting to that. Only if he would give me the sweet chin music, maybe.
Oh, yeah. He was great. That was like the heyday too, man. Oh, I loved all that shit.
Kane was there today, so I can only imagine how long his line was. I'd imagine pretty bad, but other than that, there wasn't even that great a guest list. Nev Campbell's line was pretty long, probably 2-3 hours. Mm-hmm. But I got her before, and she was like almost walk right up. I think I waited like 15 minutes.
Really?
So I don't know why there's such a despair.
How long ago was that? Was that recent?
It was like 2 years ago. She looked really good too. Much better than the last time I saw her. Looked like she thinned out a little bit. She was like healthy looking. She had the good haircut.
Right.
Maybe that movie with she did with The Rock brought in some new vigor.
Maybe. The Rock has that effect on people.
Yeah. I mean, imagine trying to look good next to him. Like, what the fuck
Seriously.
do you got to do?
I love The Rock. God. You're distracting me. I got pictures of The Rock in my head. I can smell what he's cooking.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, this show, it was some Rudy Poo candy ass fucking conventions.
Oh, I'm sure.
So
see, another reason why I don't like to go.
that's all I can say on it. It was just, it's so bad. It's just not fun.
So no, like you couldn't hit vendors or anything.
It's like I said to start off, I got that Wonder Woman 199 cover. It's like the famous bondage cover. Mm-hmm. It's about $70-$80 in the grade that I bought it. And the guy had it for $25. And he's like, hey, if you don't like any number, let me know. So I opened it. I looked at it. And I think you could tell because I took the tape off the back and all that. And I was like looking through real careful after I asked him. And I'm like, you do 20. He's like, normally I tell you to fuck yourself. And that's what he said too. Exact words.
I like that.
He's like, well, it looks like you know what you're doing. You probably know grades. Whatever, $20. I'll take it. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. I'm like, I thank the guy, whatever. But hey, it's like an $80 book in that grade. So it's a key.
It sounds like you know grades, so I can't rip you off, basically, is what he's saying.
I think he was just kind of like thinking maybe he overgraded it. Like maybe I know a little bit more than him. I don't know. That's the way it appeared. But
maybe.
It was a good deal. I couldn't pass it up for that price.
Yeah.
But other than that, that was all I got. I mean, he said it was, vendor room was empty, but once you're in, it wasn't a problem.
So that's it for Monster Mania. You gonna go again? Of course.
I'll be there in August. So I'm part of the problem.
You are
giving this idiot money.
It is people like you who continue to go. That the showrunner is like, I'm doing a good job, and who knows? He might even listen to some podcasts or reviews out there and be like, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, and honestly, if he listens to this. Like they always, you're not constructive criticism. Like I think we've given some valid points, and I'm not hating on it just to hate it because it's been one of my favorite conventions there. Yeah. We've mentioned Dallas and Curtis on podcast, two of my best friends I met there. Like I love that convention. I don't want to see it bad. It's bad. I'm not hating on you, Dave. It's bad.
Make it so good, I want to go.
Just learn how to form a line. It's not that difficult. If you need me there. Give me a free autograph. I don't know what to tell you. But I got to hand out some cards at least. So,
I was going to ask you, did you do that?
If you have any new listeners here, got the card, hit us up. Give us some 5-star ratings. Let us know what you thought of the convention. You can email us, dysfunctionalnerdcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think. Am I full of shit? Did you have a great time? Hey, maybe your experience was different. I wonder what first time people going there think. Do they not, because they don't know the difference?
Sure. Yeah, let us know. You can post something on our Facebook page. Just search Dysfunctional Nerdcast on Facebook, and you can direct message us on Twitter. What's that?
@DNerdcast.
So 3 ways for you to get in touch with us. So that it for Monster Mania?
That's it, man. I'm fucking angry about it.
I feel tortured listening to how you were tortured. So I guess on to the first Marvel movie of the year came out this weekend.
Captain Marvel,
the glue, I guess, that's going to hold it all together and the next generation of MCU movies, right? So we had to see it with millions of other people who probably saw it this weekend.
It was pretty full. It was like 90% when I went. I went at 1:00 in the afternoon today. I would have went last night, but obviously Monster Mania took precedence.
I went last night, 7:00. Me and the kid went. Now, I got my tickets on Wednesday. I think they had like 6 theaters. It was at least double that on Friday. And they added it last second because I checked Thursday. Like Thursday morning, they didn't have that many theaters. So they added theaters. I think as kind of some hype grew a little bit more. I think they were judging if people are actually going to go to it with all the stupid controversy that's going on with this movie. But I guess ticket sales were doing good. So they added more. For the first time, I didn't see a movie in their big theater on opening weekend. I got the side corridor where the movies that have been there for weeks go. And it was a smaller theater, which I enjoyed. It was about 90% full. It wasn't that full until about 5 of the movie, where all the idiots who think they could come last minute and ask everybody to slide over, move over. No, screw you. These are our seats.
Yeah, I don't like that. I looked on our way back, from Monster Mania. We're going to stop and see a movie on the way. And when we looked at the sold times or to get the listings, they were all sold out. So not surprised. You said it's on pace to make 150 million. Pretty good.
I think that's the high end. I'll look it up as we're talking, but I think it was 20.7 on Thursday night, which is pretty fucking good. This time of year, especially. So I think combined was 50 or 60 Thursday and Friday. So between previews and Friday night, it's doing pretty good. I'm thinking more 130-ish. I don't know why. I think 150 is pretty high up there. I saw a 160 too. I don't think it's doing 160. But even overseas, it's doing good. So we'll see. We'll find out tomorrow. Go to Box Office Mojo and check it out.
So what did you think of this movie?
It's Marvel. It's what it is. I was expecting a little bit more because of the hype about it, but it wasn't great. So, wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. It was cookie cutter, 100% cookie cutter movie, which doesn't make it bad. It's a Marvel movie, handprints all over it. It's Marvel from start to finish. It's it's like watching any other newer Marvel movie, I think, hands down.
I thought it was very meh. It was all right. I enjoyed it enough, but I would never say this was a great movie.
No, it's not.
I thought maybe barely good. I thought the origin story, or if you want to call it an origin story, is very mixed. It's all over the fucking place.
I was waiting to get into this in detail because it was all over the place, and that
it's like hard to understand. I didn't think there was much action in this movie, nearly as much as the other Marvel movies, so I thought it was a little boring. I say boring in terms of action. I wasn't really bored with the story. So maybe in terms of storytelling, it might have been a decent job on the script writers because it kept me interested, but that's because I was trying to figure out what was actually happening. But honestly, when I go see a comic book movie, I want to see more fighting and action, and I don't think this movie really had it.
No, it was lackluster in that.
I mean, some of the reviews even were like, "Oh, I can't wait! You wait till you get to the third scene, and it's unbelievable." I waited for it. I still didn't really see it.
That was one of my things I wanted to discuss. Was the last act of the movie, but
I thought overall just very mediocre. I think Brie Larson did a good enough job. I don't have any faults with her. I thought she was good in it, but I just don't think the story really went anywhere. And for the first time, this was an afterthought movie.
Yes.
DC is always an afterthought. Everything they do is like reactionary.
Yes.
Marvel's always had things planned. It always leads one into the next. And this was kind of like, do you know what? We kind of forgot. How are we going to defeat Thanos? We have to throw in this like super powerful character. Oh yeah, let's do Captain Marvel, but we have to give her origin first, and we'll just make it fit in. It didn't really work like it did the rest of the movies because it is an afterthought.
And it shows.
I think so.
It does show. And because I didn't feel continuity with this movie between like all the others. All the others flowed together and gave you a background to lead up to the first Avengers movie, then forming the team. Like you had it all. Like that was very well done by Marvel. This just didn't fit. It's an outsider. It's almost like just a standalone movie that almost had nothing to do with it even. It just barely touched on things. It's one of my gripes. It's
not till the end.
But also it was just like, here's S.H.I.E.L.D. Here's the formation of S.H.I.E.L.D. It might as well have been a S.H.I.E.L.D. origin story.
I didn't mind that though. I liked Nick Fury in it a lot actually.
He was probably the best thing about the movie, honestly. Now, what I say is like it's cookie cutter because it flowed in the same way and they took the same steps. It reminded me of like a Guardians movie, but a step below. That's what I'm saying as far as cookie cutter. Because you had like your opening fight scene. And even like I think Thor Dark World had that too in the beginning where they're fighting and then there's a lull. Then there's like you're coming back together. You kind of do a little bit of story and then, you know, something else happens. And then you get like that lull in the movie. And then the action has to come back. That's Marvel movies right there. But this was subpar.
I thought it was more lulls than action for sure.
Oh, definitely.
There wasn't just one lull. There was like 3 or 4.
Definitely. And the action that was in it wasn't blowing my mind. The fight scenes were good, but again, it was just action. It's like obligatory. We got to throw an action scene in here. Or we got to show how she's training. The training was like, meh. I can now understand, and you'll probably hate me for saying this, like how you probably felt watching Aquaman. And you talked about like the fight scenes and like, I can see where you're coming from because, this is a little bit less interest for me, Captain Marvel, than Aquaman. I'm more interested in Aquaman. That's probably why I like that better, you know, than you did. So I can understand, I kind of like understood like where you were coming from watching this movie because it was dull and it didn't have like the CGI even wasn't as good as the other movies.
No, when she goes binary at the end.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty bad. Like it doesn't even look like her face at all. I didn't understand that when she's flying. It almost reminded me of Christopher Reeve's Superman. It's pretty bad.
When she was falling out of the plane at the end, it was the worst superimposed free fall I've seen in a long time. Like I think Point Break did a better job than the original Point Break. It was
bad.
And at the beginning when she was forming with the AI and she was seeing Annette Bening, and that blue shit comes, you know.
Yeah, it touches her. It's bad too.
It's terrible, dude. Bad. It's like, I'm like, whoa. It's like Walking Dead CGI bad.
Like they didn't have the budget. But the fucking the cat was miraculous looking. So I don't know. Maybe they spent all their money on the cat and Samuel L. Jackson's face. Because Samuel L. Jackson's face was amazing. I didn't at any time be like, well, this looks a little weird. It wasn't like the Carrie Fisher thing where you're like, it's kind of right or not really. And then Coulson's back. His face looked great.
Coulson, I think, looked a little bit better. The thing about Samuel L. was it's 1995, right? I'm thinking Pulp Fiction was 94. If you put them side by side, they're totally different looking. Like he still had his bulkier, like his older build. Like it's still Samuel L. from today with just a different face. Like it's still a little bit different. He still looked a lot younger in Pulp Fiction, which was the same time, you know? They said it still looks like a 70-year-old dude with a young face.
I don't know about that.
I enjoyed it, though. I did like it because he did look younger. Oh, how did you feel about him losing his eye that way?
It was a little hokey.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to, it wasn't in a badass manner at all.
We get disappointed by that.
I wasn't disappointed. I thought it was more used as like a pun. And I don't think they should have went that route. I just thought it should have been a more serious thing. Mm-hmm. I don't hate it, but I'm not like, wow, that's pretty cool. I'm glad we know that backstory now. No.
Yeah, I thought it was a little forced in a way. It was just like, we got to do something. People are going to love the cat. Might as well do this. Again, an afterthought, you know? Because maybe it is kind of cool because you always have this image of like Fury losing his eye in this badass way, getting shot in the face or whatever. And here it's this flirkin.
I did love how, he says motherfucker in every movie. And this one he says mother flirkin. I mean, that's the type of comedy I like. He was making fun of himself and it fit. I thought most of the comedy in the movie was very good. Typical Marvel, though, like you said, it's the same as the other stuff.
It is. the thing about his eye when Coulson came in, and he with the fake eyes, and he's like looking at him, and he's like, "What did he say? Oh no, it was a grenade or something." He made it sound more badass.
Yeah.
So that's kind of funny. The funniest moments were Samuel L. Jackson and the fucking cat.
The little girl was funny too in it.
Yeah, the girl, she got some of the she got the laughs. And you know, since we do this podcast and we give the movie reviews, try to be a little bit more conscious of what's going on in the theater, what people's reactions are. People did not laugh when Brie Larson tried to say anything funny.
No, I didn't laugh at any of her jokes.
They were laughing at Samuel L. They were laughing at the cat, the girl, and Ben Mendelsohn's character, Talos.
I hated him.
Oh, I liked him.
I really hated him. I thought
he cracked me up, man.
I don't know if it was the makeup, but he couldn't move his face. He talked.
Oh, the makeup was bad.
He talked really poorly, I thought, in the makeup. I didn't think he was funny. I just thought he was stupid. That whole scene where, you know, I'm going to put my foot where places you don't know or something.
Yeah.
Well, where would that be? Your ass. I thought that was stupid. I didn't find it funny.
See, that got the laughs.
It did. People laughed.
Yeah.
I just did not find it funny. The one thing I did like, what do they call Earth on here? C-57 or something.
Yeah.
And they're like, are you familiar with the place? Yeah, it's a real shithole.
Yeah.
Like, that was funny, you know?
Yeah.
But overall, I thought the comedy, it was fine. It wasn't too stupid. It didn't go Star Wars on me, but it wasn't hilarious. But it's not supposed to be.
It wasn't, yeah.
It wasn't Ant-Man funny.
No, and I wouldn't expect that in this movie. But I think that lends a little bit to Brie Larson's delivery of her lines. She tries to do these funny things, and I get her character's supposed to be, and I noticed this with the other Kree, they were very even keel. They had no emotion. Okay, I get that's their race. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. So I can understand that. But as she starts to become more human and remembering herself, she never lost that. You know, you would think maybe she would revert back to being a little bit more human, because you are human. Humans have emotions, you know, unless she was supposed to be this stoic, you know, fighter pilot, and, you know,
yeah, she comes across
very dry.
She's like snarky.
Yes.
Not funny, just snarky. Which it's
arrogant.
Fine. I don't mind that. But
no, I see, and that I said that's going to be like an issue for me, because that's what I saw in the preview.
Well, I am arrogant, so that's why.
And I can only deal with so much arrogance in my life, and you take up the brunt of it. But I said, like, if she's going to act like this throughout the whole damn movie, I'm going to get annoyed. And yeah, 40 minutes in, I'm annoyed.
See, I knew we talked about this going into it. We thought it was the whole Tom Hardy situation in Venom. So I was purposely like watching her face, and I kind of disagree with you, because while I'm watching it, purposely looking for this, there was times where she was laughing. She was angry. She was just like the stoic face, but she had like 4 or 5 different ranges of emotion where it wasn't just like
it was so subdued though. Yes, she gave like that smirk every time she tried to say something funny. She that little curl of her lip. That's an emotion? No, that's just being arrogant. So you showed arrogance through the whole thing. Like that. Towards the end, she did laugh, and that made it better. It was a better delivery, because you started to see she was more human. And that's what I wanted to see, because I understood that. Like I said, she picked up the Kree mentality, that Kree thought, right? She thought she was a freaking alien. She's not. And when you revert back, you have all your memories coming back, you know? She was singing karaoke in a bar with a Guns N' Roses shirt on. She was a cool person, you know? She would have fun, cut loose. And now, no.
I did like in the beginning, though. I mean, she roared at the Skrulls as she's fighting them. I thought that was kind of funny. It was a range of emotion. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, but the little fleeting moments here and there didn't do enough for me to erase the majority of it. Because I probably, like, the theater was 90% full. 90% of the time, she was just...
But that's who she is.
But and it also, like, Annette Bening's character was the same way, but towards the end, she started to show emotion. So I didn't get that part of it. She laughed, she did things, and I'm like, how has that changed? But this isn't. And a lot of other, like everybody's delivery was just the same. Even Coulson was just very dry, which he was better in the other movies. More enjoyable. And that's my biggest gripe was just about her delivery, you know?
That was one of my least worries with the movie, honestly.
I told you that would annoy the piss out of me, and it did. It's just what I did not want to see that. So I'm not going to beat it into the ground anymore, but I wanted to see a little bit of a change.
I thought the greatest thing in the movie to me was actually before the movie started, where they did the Stan Lee tribute with the Marvel lettering, and it was all the Stan Lee clips. And then it says, "In memory of Stan Lee." I almost cried. I'm not going to lie. I got like goosebumped about it. I was like, that sucks. He's fucking gone, man. So with all this technology that they do with the faces, I really hope they put him in every fucking movie. I don't care if he's not alive or not. Every Marvel movie, he needs to be in it. Put his face on something. He doesn't even have to talk. Put him in.
See, I was expecting a little bit more, but I thought it was very tasteful and very well done. I read on the internet how people were clapping and cheering about it.
People clapped at mine. The whole audience clapped.
Nobody said a thing.
Really? The entire audience was like cheering.
No. I was
like
waiting
it was
for
a fucking rock show.
No, not one person clapped or did anything, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah,
because I heard it was like so emotional, and you're gonna love it, and it was cool. You know, I admire Stan Lee for what he's done. I think he was a very smart guy, and he created so much for everybody. You know, I do enjoy Marvel movies as much as I might not seem like I do. I do. I like him, and I like what he's done. I thought it was very tasteful. It was very well done. But I was surprised that nobody cheered or did anything.
His cameo was funny.
Yes.
He's reading the script to Mallrats.
Which is hilarious because it came out that year. And it was fun. I looked up certain things. I was like, all the songs, were they around that time? Only one song used in the movie was post 1995.
The music annoyed the shit out of me.
I was going to ask.
I had enough of it. I was like, I get you're putting a time period to it so that we know when it takes place, to know how it aligns with the Avengers. You told me once. I don't need to be told 50 times. Bumblebee did the same thing. It's like, I don't need it every single thing to be 1994. I don't need the Smashing Pumpkins logo here. I don't need the Nine Inch Nails shirt. Like, everything. The movie could have been made timeless and just made one little reference. The Blockbuster thing, I didn't mind. The Radio Shack joke was funny. I didn't mind those. But it's just like, you're beating me over the head. I get it. It's not a movie about the 90s. It just takes place in the 90s.
And there was a lot of references, from the dial-up to the Alta Vista to the pagers to, we did the dial-up. I mean, everything. You used to talk about the posters, the clothes, the Guns N' Roses shirts, like everything was, I don't know. It didn't.
That, to me, like Guns N' Roses, that's like timeless. People wear that today. But like when there's things like so intentionally, like Smashing Pumpkins, that CD cover, it says it's 1994, but...
Is that Melancholy album?
Yeah, yeah.
And the only song that I found that was afterwards that was put in was the whole song that came out, I think, a couple years after 1995. But Mallrats was cool because it came out in the fall of 95. And that seemed to, for some reason, I was thinking this movie is around fall. I don't know when, late summer.
Seems summerish, yeah.
Yeah, like August or something is taking place. A little bit before fall, I should say. So that I get that, and I thought the Mallrats was hilarious. Kevin Smith tweeted last night after he saw it. He's like, "I'm a blubbering mess. This is like the greatest thing that's ever happened to me." His eyes are all red and crying, and good for you. It is kind of cool. The guy loved Stan Lee. You had him in his fucking movie, and to put that in, they didn't have to do that. But I thought that was a cool nod.
So I guess we got to jump into the social consequences or significance of this movie, or what it was supposed to be.
Right. We could get into reviews too.
Well, yeah, a lot of the reviews, you could instantly tell who had the male bias.
Oh, yeah. It's bad.
There's definitely an agenda out there.
Yeah.
Saying,
absolutely.
She shows no emotion. This movie's cookie cutter.
I just said that, but I'm not an asshole. Okay.
But it's like, I don't know. They just make it sound like it's the same as all the other movies, and they rip it for that. But all the other movies are good. So why wouldn't this movie be good?
Yeah, that it's stupid.
Now, I'm not saying I liked the movie because I didn't think it was as good as the other ones, but I didn't think it was Brie Larson's fault. I don't have an issue with her other than her running. All the training she did, she cannot run. My wife actually nudged me and she's like, did she ever run a day in her life? I'm like, I'm glad I'm not the only one. So I'm not like a male chauvinist with that, but I'm like, this bitch cannot run. But there's definitely an agenda going on. I don't understand why. Who cares?
And it's not the first movie either. We're starting to see a trend. Either it's a racist trend, anti-feminine trend. It's the movie didn't turn out the way I personally wanted it to turn out trend. All these things. And it started with Black Panther and The Last Jedi. It's carrying on through this, and we're going to see this, I think, again and again. Everybody has an agenda, and I don't get it at all. Like, I don't even care about the audience scores anymore. I don't care about anybody's scores, honestly. I've said this over and over again. Go see the fucking movie. You like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. But give a reason why you do and why you don't. That's what we do. I mean, the audience scores, I'm throwing how many of these to have to get thrown out because, like you said, they're the ones giving the cookie cutter reviews. All of them are saying the same thing over and over.
And you can just tell, like, I was reading them and I don't put a name to them until after I read it. I'm like, that's a woman. That's a man. That's a woman. That's a man. I was right 9 out of 10 times.
Oh, yeah.
It's going both ways. It's
like
overboard and I don't know. I just don't get it.
Yeah. And then I'm like thinking, devil's advocate, like, if you're a male and you give it a great review, did you give it a great review because you felt you had to? And then if you're a woman who gave it a bad review, do you feel bad that you gave it a bad review because you're a woman, but you honestly didn't like it? Or were you afraid to? So you really said this is the greatest movie ever? Like, there's so much bullshit surrounding this. I don't get it. Like,
yeah, just make a good movie.
Yeah. That's what anybody really wants. As much as Aaron and I, like, you and I, like, rip on this shit, like, and we tease each other all the time, we do want to see a good movie. I don't want to waste my time and money. You always say it all the time. I don't want to waste my time and money. I mean, there were some, obviously, well, that's the whole thing. Like, too, though, a lot of reviewers were saying how it's empowering the women. They did show that, like, she was, like, beat down, especially, like, women were not allowed to fly in as a fighter pilot back then, right? So they brought that up, and they brought up, like, how she was always pushed down, and Jan Rog was always suppressing her, and growing up, right, when she was driving that go-kart, she got in trouble for that. She's always, the tomboy type thing. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. You're never going to amount to anything. It wasn't beat into your face at all.
And,
people were complaining that it was. It wasn't.
The women's empowerment thing, they go through those montages at the end, and she says, you're not Cree, you're human. She doesn't say you're woman. She says you're human. And the human element is what gives her all her strength, is just being a human.
Right.
It had nothing to do with women's power.
No.
And I'm so tired of the male agenda being, anytime a woman does something, they're trying to push a woman's agenda. Just because she's strong and is a woman doesn't mean she's trying to make women's rights or push something. She's a woman. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's no different than the guy doing the same exact thing. I just don't get it. If a guy does it, it's all right. If the woman does it, now she's a woman rights person? No, she
hates men.
She's just being a superhero. That's it. It's a fucking made up character.
And like you hit it, like, that's the good part about the movie. Like, they hit it on the head. I'm human. That's it. We're all fucking human. Why stop separating?
Yeah, for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. I didn't get either way that this is like, I didn't see in your face, I am woman, hear me roar kind of thing that these male chauvinist pigs are saying.
It was not Solo fucking L3.
Yeah, it wasn't L3. And on the same side, for the women that are saying, this is like the empowerment movie that you need, I didn't get that either.
No.
So for the chauvinist pigs, I don't get your shit for the. I don't get anybody's shit on this.
And why are we talking about this with a fun popcorn flick? Why?
Yeah, that's the bottom line. It should be a fun superhero movie.
And we're talking about this stupid shit.
Let's hope that like this doesn't happen with fucking next Infinity War, Avenger, Endgame, whatever the fuck it's called now. What is it? Endgame? Is that
Endgame. So we gotta talk about how it tied in, I guess.
Yeah.
I did like the end when Fury's typing up the paper, and he had the Defense Initiative, and he looks at a picture of Carol Danvers, and it says, Carol the Avenger, Danvers on her plane.
Yeah.
And he retypes it, the Avengers Initiative. Cool. Gave me kind of chills. I was like, all right, this is what we've been building for this for 10 years.
It was cool.
And then, of course, the first post-credit trailer, she gets the page, and she shows up, and she talks to Captain America and Black Widow.
That got like huge cheers, and I'm like,
People roared.
I was like, really?
I was like, you're an idiot if you didn't think this was the post-credit scene. I told you when I read it online, I'm like, if you don't know the post-credit scene going in this movie, you are just clueless. It was nothing surprising. It was exactly what everyone knew it would be.
I read a review where, so in the end scene, they're working on the pager that Fury had, that Captain Marvel gave him. Only use it in emergencies. Well, obviously it was an emergency and he fucking used it, right? Well, battery life, it's only so long. So they are powering it, right? And all of a sudden the power goes off. And Black Widow's like, oh my God, what happened? And like, oh, the power went out. I thought it was on battery backup. This, I don't understand why it blah, blah, blah. And I'm like thinking, because she heard the fucking message. That's why, exactly. Dumbass. I'm fucking smarter than Captain America? Come on. And Bruce Banner? What the fuck? And so I'm like, okay. And she's like, Black Widow says, I want to know who's on the other end of that. Let me know. And then I'm like, yeah, she's fucking going to walk through the door or something. Like, it was very predictable. And there are other predictable moments in that movie, too.
But again, the audience clearly does not dissect this thing like us.
I know. And it's like,
they're so clueless. They were like, oh my God, she's going to be in Avengers? I had no idea. It's like,
oh my.
We've known that before Avengers started.
I don't even understand how, if like you even watch Good Morning America before you went to work, you would know that.
I know.
Okay? Like, they tell you this. Like, I don't know. You're right. We are too invested in this. And I'm not even as invested as you are.
I know. I think it makes it less fun. I wish we could just be more naive, because I do think they have a better time watching it.
See, I know you don't like Lord of the Rings, but that was probably Lord of the Rings. I didn't read the books, so I didn't know shit. I saw the cartoon movies when I was a kid, and it was way different. So I can see being a little naive and innocent about it. You're like, oh, cool, But yeah, we're too invested, man. We're just nerds about it.
And then the second post credit is always like the comedy one. It was fine. I mean, it's kind of a waste to sit there, but all the second post credits are a waste. It's the cat coughs up the cosmic cube. Or the Tesseract is what they want to call in the movie, but
I turned to the kid. The kid and I looked at each other, and he looks at me. He's like, I go, I'm so sick and tired of staying for the second post-credit scene.
I mean, it's funny, but it's not worth 10 minutes of your time.
No. I mean, you're always sitting there, and the credits are so damn long in these movies because of everything that goes into making them. You got to thank everybody. You got to give everybody credit because credit's due. I understand, but didn't do much for me. I hate all those fucking post credits. It's like variant covers. We don't need them.
But again, people cheered when the cat was on screen. The second he showed up, people cheered.
Well, here's the other thing.
People love pussy.
Men and women.
That's right. Equal rights, baby.
That's right. So even if you've seen how many of these movies, say 10 of them, don't you know there's a post-credit scene?
You would think.
Half the theater fucking left.
Same here.
And I'm like, and then people like, I hear people, why are you leaving? There's a post-credit scene. What's a post-credit scene? What? Are you kidding me? Everybody's lined up in the hallway to go out, and they're like watching it, and they're like some people are like, oh, okay. And the other people are like, yes, cheering and shit. And some people are just like, okay. Like, they don't get it. They don't, whatever. Are they not invested?
I don't know.
How do you not know? Even if you're not a comic book person or whatever, you're not a super nerd. How do you not know there's not a post-credit scene? It's like one of the most talked about fucking things after every
That's what everyone
movie.
wants, yeah.
Again, all online. You can't like.
And it's bleeding into other genres.
Oh yeah,
Talked about it with Escape Room and Bumblebee. They all starting to do post credits. So
yeah.
Fast and Furious has done them.
That Hobbs and Shaw
It's
fucking
bad.
trailer was on, dude. It is worse on the big screen. And my kid loves the Fast and Furious, and he's like, it's Hobbs and that Shaw guy, and I'm like, yeah. And I go, dude, it's terrible. He hasn't seen it yet. I guess he looks at it, he's like, what? like the
someone-
blank stare, and he's just like
Someone kicked his cat.
yeah. He's kind of like, I said, dude, I'm not coming to the theater to see that. Sorry. I think it had too many good previews, actually.
I didn't even watch them, to be honest. I was on my phone. I was one of those people.
Oh, you dick. I was writing down on my phone what trailers I had in case we wanted to discuss them, and where's my phone in the other room. But it was all Disney shit, pretty much. So I was very excited about the Frozen 2 trailer.
Oh, God. So I got to say, I think everyone's going to compare this movie to Wonder Woman.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think Wonder Woman blows this fucking movie out of the water. I really love Wonder Woman. I just thought it was so much better. You want to talk about an empowering character? I mean, she's Wonder Woman, I guess.
Yeah, it's all in the name.
But she seemed to be so much better of a character to me. She seemed stronger, more realistic. I just thought if you want to talk about what you would do for women's empowerment, she blows Carol Danvers out of the water. And as far as the movie itself, I thought it had a better origin. I thought it had better acting. I thought it had better action. I mean, every good movie has a love story. It had the love story. I don't know. Wonder Woman has everything to me.
This one didn't have a love story.
No.
There was nothing.
Other than Nick Fury and his pussy. That's it.
Dude, that cat was funny, man.
Dude, when they're flying up the plane and like you know, I guess the
G-force,
the
right?
G-force sucks the cat back, and he's just like on all fours on his back.
It's
I
on the crate.
laughed.
Yeah, that was funny. And what he was, I guess, when you learn that it's this monster, right, or alien, and his shit, like all these tentacles come out of its mouth, and it like, why didn't you do that before? You know, and then he starts to hold it again because after it kills all these Kree soldiers or whatever, and he's like, he holds it up again. He's like, what? You're not going to do it now?
It was pretty cool. Like the tongue thing that comes out, it grabs all the scrolls or whatever. It was the Krees. I don't even know at this point.
Yeah,
and he's
that
slamming
was
them,
confusing though.
slamming them up and down against the roof and the ceiling, like over and over. It was cool. Something like Groot would have done.
Right. That was see, but it took to then for it to make shit happen, and that's another gripe. It took so long for this shit to happen. And even the positive reviews said it is a long ways until it takes off. But once it takes off, it's like nothing you've ever seen before.
I thought once it took off, it was like, okay, you've given us what we expected. It definitely was not anything new.
And I heard that there was some kind of like dogfight that would rival Star Wars.
I didn't see it.
And I did not see that one bit. I don't know if it was like at the end when she was flying through the caverns.
I thought that was like Independence Day today.
Yeah, and I guess when
Welcome to Earth.
Even when Captain Marvel was flying around in space and dodging this at the other thing, it didn't do anything. It was short. It wasn't, it wasn't caught like over the top. It wasn't like a good Star Wars dogfight. That's what the end battles in Star Wars were always known for.
I mean, it was cool when she goes binary. I thought, her powers are cool, but again, the CGI looked so bad, it kind of took me out of it from being like, wow, this is amazing. But I will say, spec-wise, I think that was the best spec of the movie because all her other stuff is so out of reach, it's not even worth it. But Uncanny X-Men 164 is the first time she goes binary. I think that book is still only like $20, $30. It's obviously going to be what she uses to defeat Thanos. Grab the books, man. I think they're going to double. And going forward in the rest of her movies, this isn't one and done.
No.
It's going to go up. I think that's the best spec play.
Cool.
I guess we got to start wrapping it up. Like, what's your general thoughts on this movie? What do you rate it? Overall synopsis.
Oh, see, I really want to give it a good review because I don't want to be an asshole. I'm
See,
struggling.
now you're having an agenda. Don't have
I
an
am.
agenda.
I
Just-
am. I know.
It's a movie. Just give it a whatever you think. Was it good or not good? That's all.
It was okay.
To give it an okay review.
It
You want me to
wasn't.
go first or what?
You go first because it wasn't good.
I mean, I was torn between a 6 and a 7. I kept going back and forth, and therefore I'm going to give it a 6.5. Like, it kept me interested. I wasn't bored during the movie, but I thought there could have definitely been more action. But again, I was trying to figure out the whole time kind of what's going on, so that's why my interest level was up. I don't think there was anything like truly eye-rolling in it. There's nothing I hated, but there wasn't anything I really loved about it. It was just an okay Marvel movie. I mean, to rank this, I think all the Marvel movies are great except Iron Man 3. So that might actually be the only movie worse than this one. I think I like all the other ones better, but that doesn't mean this movie's shit. It just means it's,
I hear you.
I don't know, it's lackluster.
If I never see this movie again, I'm fine with it. This is not a movie I need to see again.
I will buy it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, you will.
I'll definitely buy it.
Are you going to watch it again?
I'll watch that at some point. Yeah, I mean,
But you don't have a desire to say, I need to go see this when
No.
it comes out. You know, yeah, I don't think you do that with a lot of movies, but I have zero desire to see this again. I don't.
what kind of made me sad is it didn't really hype me up for Avengers.
No, not at all.
I thought coming into this, I would be like, oh my God, this ended. I cannot wait for Avengers Endgame because Captain Marvel's going to be in it. I am so jacked up. I left, I'm like, all right, I'm not even thinking about Avengers. It's whatever.
I think it goes back to the afterthought movie. It came through a lot on this. So it's an okay movie. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen by far. But again, I'm not going to go see this. I'm not going to see it again in the theater. I'm not going to buy it. If it's on TV, maybe I'd watch it. I did find it boring at parts. I just was waiting for it to take off, and it never did. There was still never that moment that even in other Marvel movies, I do get chills at certain parts. You're like, damn, that's awesome. And you're like, yes. Even if I'm not cheering and doing it because I think that's stupid to clap to the screen, I get jacked even in my seat. I'm like, yeah, I never got that in this movie. I didn't. 6.
It's fair enough.
You know, and you might think about some movies last year that I gave, and I'm trying to do better with my ratings this year. If I gave something a 6 last year, bump that up a little bit, you know, like a point or two, depending. But this wasn't what I expected at all. And I didn't have high hopes, but I had more expectations. And I think it's starting to reflect. Take out the audience reviews.
Well, the audience reviews were like 33%, I think.
Yeah, but you also had, like we talked about, that agenda crap. You had a bunch of
It's
fucking
still
idiots
bad,
in
though, because a
there.
lot of the other movies show up and they're like 90s.
Right.
And when this showed up on Rotten Tomatoes, the critic score was initially 90.
91,
And what's it at now?
79.
And audience score is only at what, 53 or something?
Yeah, 53. So I think things are
I
starting
think
to
both
settle.
of those scream average,
Yes.
and we're saying it's average.
And I think Metacritic was like, what, 65?
Yeah, it was 65.
IMDb is at 6.8. So
I mean, people ask me, they always, oh, what do you think? Would I should go see it? I would say, yeah, go see it. Whereas Aquaman, I was like, do not go see that. That's a pile of shit. I wouldn't say that about this movie. I'd be like, go see it. It's not amazing. I wouldn't drop everything you're doing to go, but
no,
it's worth seeing.
And I ran into some people at the comic shop today and saw the owner, and he was like, yeah, I don't have time, but I'm just not going to go. It's not anything that he had to put away. It's like, I got to put 2.5 hours away of my day as a comic book shop owner to go see this movie. And it's something that, you know, shop owners and shop employees want to go see so they could talk to their clients about, you know, people coming in. It's like, yeah, whatever.
It was pretty cool. Their competitor when you bought the ticket, you got a free coupon and you can redeem it for a free Captain Marvel comic.
Really?
But yeah, it's pretty cool. Good advertising.
Huh. I ran into another guy at the store, and he's just like, nah, I really didn't like the character to begin with, so I'll see it when I see it. I'm like, all right, that's interesting. And there's only a couple people in the store, nobody was talking about it. Usually you hear a buzz or something. Nobody talked about it.
I didn't hear anything at Monster Mania about it at all. I mean, obviously that's the first day people are there, but
people could have gone Thursday night.
Right. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah. I don't think you're going to hear anything. I think in a couple years, you're not going to hear much. And I wonder how much Marvel's going to take this into consideration of putting her in other movies. I'm thinking she's more of an ensemble cast character.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how she fits in with the rest of them.
You know, if you want to make a new Avengers and put her as like a Cap or something like that, or, you know, make Black Panther the leader, which I think should be done. I think if you're going to pick a new leader of something, you know, a group of like the new Avengers, make it Black Panther, you know.
Were you surprised in this movie that the Skrulls are actually the good guys? Like, that did throw me for a little bit of a twist because the Skrulls have always been bad in the comics, and they show up like they're invading Earth. They're really not. They're just trying to find a way to survive. I don't know if I really like that as a comic fan. I didn't hate it necessarily in the movie, but I was like...
I didn't hate it in the movie.
I just thought it would have been cooler as like an alien invasion movie. I don't know. I just thought you could have did it better that way.
You know what really kind of annoyed me? Was the planet HALA? And then someone said, "Oh, holla." And I'm like, holla? What? I'm like, no. So I can't get that out of my head. Holla. Sorry, it's a cheesy gripe. But, okay, what's the Skrulls? Dude, their masks were terrible.
It was Star Trek-esque.
It was. Exactly what I thought of. And their chin, why do they have Thanos' chin?
But they do in the book. That's what
Is that what it is? Is Thanos like Skrull?
I just think they should have did it maybe CGI, actually. I usually like practical effects better, but in this case, I don't know. It just
practical effects.
It just didn't work.
The CGI didn't work good either. I don't understand it. It's fucking Marvel. What happened?
All the budgets in Avengers Endgame.
I guess.
Got to pay all those people.
I guess. So, I think that's...
There you have it from two nerds.
Yeah.
One Marvel lover, one DC lover, and we still pretty much gave it the same. So, I don't think we have biases towards this. I don't...
No, I don't...
It for any particular reason. It just wasn't all it should be.
No. Like I said, we backed up everything. When we see a movie, you want to see certain things, and I expect certain things. So, I didn't get that all the way. This was like Aquaman to me. This is your Aquaman to me. Does that make sense? But not as bad as you thought.
That was the worst fucking movie ever. This is nowhere close. Like, if we're comparing the two, this is an all-time great.
This guy I was talking to today, he didn't see Aquaman. He goes, "But I heard such great things about it." And I was like, "Yeah, I enjoyed it." Right? And he goes, "What'd you think about this?" I said, "It was okay." And then when I was at the local Comic-Con a couple weeks ago, everybody was talking about it. And this one guy was like, "I haven't seen it yet, but I heard great things about it. I'm always doing shows. I'm always traveling. I didn't have time to see it. I heard great things." And people were like, "Oh yeah, I love the movie." I'm telling you, I'm not lying, man. I keep my ears open there.
Let us know what you thought again. Give us a 5-star review.
Wherever you can.
iTunes, log right in. Do it. Even if you already done it, take your child's phone, your mother's, your significant other's. Give us a rating on their phone. It's not that hard.
Your mistress, whatever.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Yeah. Any review. Facebook reviews. We'd like them too.
Yeah. Helps us out.
YouTube reviews.
So next episode, we're going to have the owner of Soda Toys, Jerry Macaluso, talk all about us, the toy industry, what his thoughts are on collecting and all that type of stuff.
That's
so
good interview.
Be sure to follow us. That way you get all the interviews.
Right. So you can always email us, dysfunctionalnerdcast@gmail.com. And the Facebook, just look us up, Dysfunctional Nerdcast. And Aaron, please give us the Twitter.
At D Nerdcast. Also, YouTube.
Yeah.
Never leave home without it.
And you really can not leave home without it because it's on your fucking phone.
That's right.
And everybody has one. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably have a phone because you listen to a podcast on the phone.
And you're not at home. You're wherever.
Work, car. Just not at the movies, okay? Because we hate that.
Yeah. So until next time, be careful when you play with your pussy.